everybody, and thank you for downloading this most recent episode of Movie Guys Podcast. Today we're talking about Star Trek Beyond. I am here, of course, with Eric and Ed. How you guys doing today?
Hello, sir.
Doing well, brother.
Good. Well, I saw Star Trek Beyond today. Who all saw it today?
I saw it today.
I saw it Friday with my mother. She's a big Trekkie.
Oh,
Had a little,
You're-
little mother-son date there. She's a big Star Trek fan. In fact, like, I was
Really?
I was telling a few people about it because they were surprised. Like, oh, your mom's a Trekkie? Yeah, she would trick us as kids for movies. Like, we would just be, sitting around. I'd be, playing like a Super Nintendo or some games or some shit like that. Sisters playing dolls or whatever the hell the kids do, right? And she'd be like, "Hey, kids, get ready in
Sure.
a half an hour. We're gonna go see a movie." And I was like, "Oh, it's awesome. What movie are we gonna go see?" I remember one specifically. I was like, "Mom, are we gonna go see The Pest? Can we go see The Pest?" And
The Pest.
yeah, and she's just like, get your shoes on. We're gonna go to the movies." And I was like, "Oh, can we go see it?" She's like, "Yeah, sure. Get your shoes on." I'm like, "Oh man, I'm excited. I'm so freaking geared up for this thing." And we ended up going to see like Star Trek First Contact instead. And she did that. She did that 3 times with me, man. She did that for Insurrection, and she did it for Nemesis too. Like, she was just like, "Yeah, we're gonna go to the movies." Like, "Oh, cool. Are we gonna go see this movie?" She's like, "Yeah, sure." And then get in the car, and then we ended up going to see a Star Trek Next Generation movie.
So what you mean is she
Nice.
lied to you because she wanted to go see a movie?
That's basically what it is. And you know what? Like, I'm not saying that was a bad thing because all those Next Generation movies were pretty good. Some better than the others. First
Mhm.
Contact was I think we
Oh.
can all agree was awesome, right?
It was the best of that generation Star Trek.
Of the Next Generation Star
Mhm.
Trek. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't disappointed, but or at least I was at first. But then she's like, "Yeah, all right, this movie's actually pretty good." But so yeah, that's what we did. When I told her, like, "Hey, listen, you want to go see this movie?" She's like, oh yeah, let's go see it."
Oh, yeah. Well, that's funny. You know what? I guess my response is I'm the noob. I am the noob when it comes to Star Trek. I purposely wore my Star Wars shirt today just because I wanted to be that guy. But I actually saw it with my dad. My dad's actually a Trekkie. So
You can be
this is the
both.
first. Yeah, you can be, but my dad's more of a Trekkie than a Star Wars fan. I'm the Star Wars fan. He's not.
Sure.
But I went with my dad today, and packed theater at 12:30. I couldn't believe it. At an IMAX showing, believe it or not, packed theater.
Mm-hmm.
I could not believe that. And I was like, this is still relevant? This is still a thing? So I don't know anything about Star Trek. All I know about the Star Trek is the bald guy that everybody knows from the 90s in the TV show.
It's
Jean-Luc
it's
Picard,
Jean-Luc
is that right?
Picard, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Engage.
And all I know is Borg. That's it.
Okay.
So my knowledge of Star Trek is this new trilogy so
No,
far.
you know Spock. Everyone knows Spock.
Well, yeah, I know Spock, but I don't know, like, storylines. Like, I mean, okay, fine. I'm a noob, but I'm, like, kind of a noob. I know The Wrath of Khan. I saw the original 3 movies.
No,
I saw the,
I get it.
you know.
You know some underlying characters or major characters, but you don't know any
Yeah.
major points in the story
Yeah.
or what they're
Yes.
doing or anything about the Federation.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't know that, so which is why this movie left me with a lot of questions, but I guess we'll have to wait till we come with that. So, Ed, where do you come in from this movie? Are you a noob? You a Trekkie? Where are you at?
Sort of. It's sort of weird. Like I have a sort of my story is like a mix of both of your stories. I saw it today with my dad, who's a Trekkie.
Okay.
And I grew up like sort of wanting to be the exact opposite of my father in a lot of ways. End up, personality-wise, we ended up being the exact same. But a lot of the things that he loved, I loved the exact opposite. Like he's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan, I'm a Browns fan. But in terms, I know.
Sorry to hear that.
God.
You and me both. But he grew up. He's a Trekkie. He loves Star Trek, which you guys now understand. My love of Star Wars.
Sure.
So but he actually, after we saw this movie, he schooled me on a lot of things. Like we were talking, and he's nowhere near as nerdy as I am. The 3 of us are really, but he sort of schooled me on a couple of things. Like I ended up asking him questions about the movies and all, the original movies and then the next gen movies, because I'm not a noob per se, because I grew up with him watching The Next Generation on TV. He loved The Next Generation.
Nah.
And he never took me to see the movies because it was just one of those things that he didn't really care to go to the theater. He was more of a
Sure.
TV guy, which I guess explains why I'm a movie guy. But I know some things. I know underarching stories. I know things, but I know more of them along the lines of the Next Generation because obviously I was there with him to watch those.
Yeah.
But he helped put into perspective for me, sort of paralleled this universe, which is a recreation of the original universe, but in a different timeline, obviously. And they really talk about that in this movie, how this is a different timeline.
Yeah. And I'm the same way. My mother was a big Next Generation fan, and so I grew up more watching Next Generation, not the first or the old school, but more centered around Next Generation, which is I enjoyed very much. I never got into Deep Space Nine, I never got into Voyager or anything like that. Even though I could pick them up, and the episodes are built kind of to Star Trek formula, much like how like those NCIS shows or Law and Order shows are built to kind of structure, and
Uh-huh.
they work, and that's why they don't change them. They keep it because it works. That's what the fans want,
Mm-hmm.
and so I enjoyed it all the same. But you identify to one area or the other, or one generation or the other, just given what you're exposed to, And I was definitely Next Generation, thank goodness, because that had the superior captain on for all of them, and just awesome characters of it too. So I very much liked Next Generation, but this new J.J. Abrams kind of launch of the Bad Robot generation, however you want to call it, the Pine generation, uh, is not that I enjoy it. I like it. It's all the characters commit very well, and they're very believable in their roles. They fit to suit very well, and so I like it. It's just kind of what it is. I still always will say the Next Generation is superior, but then again, the people who you talk to about will also say that they were exposed to Kirk and that generation, and they'll say that that's superior. So
True.
it's all what you're exposed to, and it's just nice to have Star Trek kind of go to one per generation to keep it going.
I would like to say though, sort of about this particular movie. Obviously, J.J. Abrams had a different obligation. you know what I mean when this was being filmed, and So, but you can sort of tell the difference between this one and the other two in this generation. The other two paid a lot less obvious homage to the old story. This one sort of had a normal movie feel.
Well, given the credits on it, it was written by Simon Pegg and a few others.
Mhm.
But Simon Pegg's a very obviously a big Star Trek and Star Wars fan,
Mhm.
and you can see that in a lot of his other work too. Like what's this TV show, Spaced? Is that his
Yeah.
first? Yeah.
Space.
So that was one. The director Justin Lin, you may know him from the Fast and Furious franchises.
He's
Yeah.
also going to be doing the new Space Jam movie.
Yes, yes, he will be. Yeah, and
That's
yeah. Oh, I think I'm looking up his credits. I think he's producing that, but still, he's putting his name on it, and that's
It
what you
shows me
need.
it shows me that he's directing it. I'm on IMDb as we're talking now.
Whew. Maybe he's doing the double roll there.
Yeah, yeah.
well. See, he's actually the reason why I didn't want to see this. This like I said, this is the first Star Trek movie I've ever saw in theaters. But I have loved the previous two. I liked Star Trek in '09, and I also really like Star Trek Into Darkness. The reason why I didn't see Star Trek Into Darkness in theaters was because it came out the weekend I got married, and my wife was very adamant in saying, "You're not allowed to see this movie in the weekend of our wedding. It's just not happening." So, so I didn't go to chance to see it. So I saw it when it came out on Redbox. But Justin Lin's the reason why I was not interested to see this movie. I completely forgot about this movie. If it wasn't for the show,
Mhm.
I would have not have gone out to see this movie, honestly. And I'm not saying this movie's terrible. It's just the hype leading up to it for me. I just didn't have an interest because I don't like Fast and Furious. When that movie first came out, it was cool. It was good for the times. Everybody in my high school had neon in their car. Hell, so did I. It was a thing to do.
Yep.
I also had blonde tips in '99. Doesn't mean it's cool anymore.
I
However,
will
though,
I will proudly say I've never seen a Fast and Furious movie.
But I will say, when you first saw the first movie back in 2000, you didn't say, "Oh, there's going to be 10 of these." I mean, seriously, come on.
Yeah.
So
You
I
never
just,
thought you thought that would go.
yeah, and I'm not trying to do a review here, Fast and Furious, but how do you go from hot chicks, short shorts, racing cars movies to bank heist movies is beyond me. But I mean, like, Ed, you've never seen one. I'm just gonna say
Never
this one
seen a
thing.
single one.
I'm just gonna say this and I'll shut up. I don't know which one there is because I've seen all of them. It's either the fifth one or the sixth one where they literally pull a bank safe out of the bank and they drag it through the city with a car.
Pretty sure it's number 5.
Yeah.
So anywho,
There
So I'm
was
not
two.
missing
They took
anything.
2 Mustangs to do that.
two Mustangs to do that.
Well, it took 2 Mustangs, would have taken 1 Camaro. Just throwing that out.
Yeah. So anyway, he was the reason why. I don't see Hollywood's big dick about him right now. Clearly, he's a very unlucky director. Paul Walker was killed, and also the guy who played Chekhov's now dead. So don't make him another movie. Somebody else is going to die.
He's gonna kill LeBron
Oh,
in Space Jam
wow.
too.
I wonder. Wow, you know what? Did you just bring out a new Madden curse there? Like,
I think I did.
holy shit! All right. Now he's got my attention. Like, I'm gonna be seeing when because he's doing the new Jeremy Renner Bourne movie too. It looks like.
Yeah, and Matt Damon or somebody's going to die. I'm telling you.
This
It's
is
gonna
the Jeremy Renner Bourne, not the Matt Damon Bourne. So I think it's the other Bourne.
Oh, don't kill Hawkeye. Oh, don't kill Hawkeye.
Oh, whatever, dude.
I don't want Hawkeye to die in real life. I mean, sure.
Well, no, I don't want anyone to die, but I mean at the same time, like Hawkeye's a secondary character, man. He's not gonna get his own movie. At least I hope not.
Yeah. Well, no, I mean, and we're getting off subject, but you didn't think about that today because I thought about that in theaters. I was like, this guy directed Fast and Furious. Paul Walker is now dead, and the guy who played Chekhov is now dead. This guy's directed This guy's 2 movies in a row. A character has died in real life.
I did not know that. And a few curses can actually pull that off. Like Poltergeist had the curse where someone died after each making of the Poltergeist movies.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, you know, obviously the Twilight Zone curse. But we'll see how it goes. Yeah, well, let's get into it. You guys want to get into it?
I do want to get into it. So like I said, I actually saw this in IMAX, and did not know I was seeing this in IMAX. It was one of those. Well, I'm getting off subject.
No, you go to the right time. You go to the time. That's the only one they have available, right?
Yeah, it was like the only one available. I paid like $4 more. It was a huge freaking screen, and the guy said, because I asked one of the guys, I was like, "Is this an IMAX?" And he goes, "It's barely an IMAX. Like it's almost. Like you ever heard of that before? Like the screen's super huge."
Yeah, I mean that's why I went to go see it in 3D,
Okay.
3D IMAX, and that was just because it was one of those things where you go at that time, and it was just like that's the time that works for me, and it just happens to be at that time they're doing IMAX 3D, and you go, okay, that's fine, and
Okay.
you know,
I was just curious, yeah, because I got nauseous a lot in some of the camera moves, which that's one of my biggest gripes about this movie is you can tell it's made by somebody different. Abrams didn't move the camera as much. This guy, I got nauseous a bunch of times during this movie because he loves to turn the camera in a complete circle and just has a lot of bullshit shots for no reason. Took me out of the movie actually a bunch of times.
yeah, he's he's all about the action. He just wants it to look. He wants it to look cool. I mean, that's where Fast and Furious comes in. Obviously, you know, make it look cool. Get the nice angle. Get the nice shot. Do some different perspective shots, and then it'll look pretty cool.
Yeah, and you can, like I said earlier, you can definitely tell that this is not a J.J. Abrams done movie.
Oh no,
I mean,
less flair.
Obviously obviously he had Star Wars to do, and so like he made the right choice in the sense that like this movie to me, although it was good, I'm not knocking it. It just felt bland. Now I don't know if that's because he wasn't in it. Up until the end, I was bored.
Actually, thank you, Ed, for saying that. I was going to say that. I don't know if anybody else felt that way, but I almost fell asleep twice. I was pretty bored with this. Not that the movie was bad, but I've seen this story not only in just Hollywood versions, but I've seen this in Star Trek. I don't know how many times.
You see it in Fast and Furious. You know exactly like how the pacing is going to go. And it paced itself very well. It answered all the questions you were going to have. It gave motivation to all the characters too. It gave backward conflict, overarching stories, and it was again very much Fast and Furious because that's how all the different characters work. You get a group of characters, maybe like 8 notable characters, who are just kind of get their camera time, get the dialogue and stuff like that. Give them overarching
Yeah.
conflicts, but then there's one big one, the main focus, and at the end it all ties together, wraps up in a huge bun, and
Yeah.
that's it.
To me, it was very safe. What the Okay, so the thing I was confused of, seeing the trailers. Now again, I'm a noob, so I'm sure you guys are gonna harass me on this. But when I saw the trailers, I thought I was getting the Borg. This is
No,
not the Borg.
no, I didn't. No. If you were gonna get the Borg, there would have been a lot more PR because the Borg is first off, the Borg is next generation. Um,
Okay. So Kirk and Spock never even knew of the Borg then.
no. They no. That's something they did something else, and there was a notable episode in the old ones called Trouble with Troubles or Trouble with Tribbles. I'm sorry, someone might be
Okay.
correct me on that. In the beginning of this movie too, where Kirk is kind of doing a peace offering with those little critter-looking things.
Yeah.
It kind of gave me that feel. I think that's what they were trying to do was kind of like an homage to the Trouble with Tribbles episode there too. And it was
Oh, really?
yeah, and that was very
Okay.
much kind of like a Gremlins critters type thing where it's just being overrun with these little furry hairballs.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because I always thought that Kirk's big bads were the Klingons. Is that right?
No, that's Picard's. It's a huge storyline too because they are a repeat enemy too.
Okay.
If this was the Borg, you'd be crossing generations, and I don't know. I would really love to see it, but I just don't see it happening with this line or this generation. Maybe an
Well,
origins of the Borg.
well, because that's what I was going to say is this an origins of the Borg? Because these villains, these bad guys, seem kind of Borg-esque with their beehive mentality and how
Yeah,
their
a
spaceships
unity.
fly. Yeah, because really, and I don't know. I mean, like, please tell me if I'm wrong, because I'm just going off of what I'm trying to understand and piece things together here. But it seemed like we only saw maybe one or maybe like two or three of the actual bad guys,
Right.
and the rest were just like soldiers that were always in these black outfits. So, like, were those other things aliens? Was that the members of this guy's crew? I
Uh,
don't understand who those people are. What are they? Are they robots?
from what I understand, the explanation in the movie is that the main a lot of the main people were old crew members, and they just were able to kind of find something. But they had crash landed on that planet, I believe,
Okay.
right? And that
Okay.
the existing life forms that were there were, oh man, I wish I need to get they were suffering, and they had some technology. So basically, they merged technologies, and kind of he merged the leader and took control of them.
So okay. I'm sorry. So tell me. Okay. So
Almost like a colony without a queen, pretty much. And then they just kind of
okay.
showed up and just kind of assumed the role or something like that.
Okay. So for the people who haven't seen this movie, the basic plot of the villain is the villain and his crew are actually good guys with Starfleet. They used to be soldiers, and they crash landed on this.
Oh no! Oh man, we lost him. Ed, you back? Oh wait, here we go.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry about that, guys. The lady upstairs, her toilet leaked into my bathroom, so we got a plumber, and the plumber just sort of barged in. I want to make sure everything was all right. My dog started crying and going off, and I was like, "Oh, that's okay. What's going on?" Sorry.
No. We were just in the middle of explaining the origin of Idris Elba's enemy character and how he came to power on that planet. Do you
Hmm.
remember it at all? I mean, help me clarify. Is that he crash landed on that planet and pretty much just kind of assumed control of the people that were living there?
Well, no. What he had said he landed there, whether it was crash land or not. I don't remember that. But there was only a couple people from his crew left after a while. There were only 3 left.
Right.
So it was him, his crew member, his couple of crew members, and him, and they had left the people that had inhabited that planet had long abandoned it
Oh yeah.
and had left drones to do the mining and digging. So
Oh,
my assumption is that he reprogrammed those drones to be attack drones and
Okay.
built guns or something.
Okay. There we
okay,
go. We
that's
got
what I was
clarification.
wondering.
Because
Yeah.
yeah, I obviously must have heard something else from there, or maybe I've dozed off just like you guys did.
Yeah, because I was really confused about it because we only saw like one or two of the people that looked like him. Now that's another question too. Why is the villain look the way he does? Because he was a normal human, but this happened 100 years before the Enterprise shows up.
Well, we
So
can
are they
assume
like
that this is a lot of the things because a lot of times in Star Trek, what happens is that, and they actually do this very well, is that they assume that different planets have different effects on different bodies, given with the radiation that maybe is around them. For
okay?
instance, like in the Next Generation, there were a lot of people who had rejuvenated powers. They stayed young because of the rings of the planets. There was a nebula nearby
Mhm.
this one, and so. With the technology there, they were able to consume kind of energy and life force to kind of keep it going. So maybe that was just kind of a side effect of that, or maybe it was a side effect of the nebula as well. Obviously, the appearance was not one that was explained too much in this movie.
You're right,
Okay.
but he is exactly right. They'll tell you along the lines why a species looks a certain way. That I think is something that they missed in this one though, because without my knowledge of Star Trek and yours, obviously, Eric, the guy looks completely different than what he does when he comes back. And
Yeah.
he gets off that planet, goes outside of that nebula, and goes onto the space station, and he looks like himself, but still, you know, organically changed. He looks like he used to, but it's in the sense that he's an African American guy. He's got a human facial structure now, human body structure now, but he's got sort of like these things on his head.
The
So
ridges.
Well,
it's yeah.
that's because he was stealing the life force out of people.
Correct.
Remember that in this because he was touching those two prisoners when he
Hmm.
had Aurora or whatever, and then I guess he kind of this villain reminded me of the villain in the Mummy remake with Brendan Fraser.
Yeah,
Oh.
You know what I mean? Like
Imitep,
he
I think is his name.
yeah, that's exactly who this villain reminds me of. Not saying that just because it's bad or anything. I'm just saying because like he he steals people's souls or life or whatever you want to call it to make himself younger or more human.
Yeah.
That's why I thought that was something that they missed. Um, the biggest complaint I have about the storyline aspect of it is that I think they completely missed what the third movie should have been about. And my opinion is I saw Into Darkness the other night just prepare for this movie, and they were all about Klingons. I know Khan was the main focus on it, but we were
Romulans.
gonna go Romulans. I'm sorry, not Klingons.
Hmm.
Yeah, Romulans. And no, I'm sorry, no, Klingons because they're talking about war with the Klingons when they actually find Khan.
Oh, okay.
And remember that in Into Darkness when they were trying to find where Khan is and they crash land on a ship and they crash land on a planet and it's the Klingons.
Well, see, Jordan, but here's what you got to remember: there are two outside sources, the Romulans and the Klingons, who are not Federation allies.
Well,
So
well, well,
they
well,
land on the Klingon planet, but they're worried about the war with the Romulans because there's that barrier that if you cross this barrier, then we're gonna have a fight with them, and they just happen to land on a Klingon planet. Or maybe
well,
I'm getting that backwards.
well, that's fine. What I was trying to say is that I think that's what the third movie should have been. I thought they were leading up for this movie to be the war. That's what I thought they were doing.
Well, this was
Mm.
more. I think we got the feel. We all agree on this. This was more of just kind of like a filler movie type thing, you know?
It feels like it is. It feels like it's just shoehorned in.
Like just change the pace. Let's mix it up for a little bit. Let's throw a different baddie in there. Let's throw a different conflict in there type thing. And yeah, let's just keep it going type thing. Let's get some good action sequence in there. Yeah, but there was other big moments in this movie like obviously the passing of Leonard Nimoy, where they wrote into the movie that Spock
Yeah.
had passed, Ambassador Spock had passed, and that new Spock had pretty much, well, it's on him to kind of almost assume the role, or he feels that
Hmm.
that it's up to him to kind of help the race a bit more, you know.
And that's what the actor who feels like it's too, but I guess the actor decided to stay on. Zachary, whatever his
Zachary
last
Quinto?
name is.
Zachary Quinto, yeah.
He actually did sign on to do a fourth one, and so did Chris Pine, because Zachary was saying this is it, he's done, but I guess he signed on to do a fourth one.
And now, well, the paycheck's there. And Hemsworth is also in the fourth one,
Mhm.
too.
Yeah, it's a prequel
Which-
thing. So
Which, you guys brought up a couple of good points. Brings us back to the fact that this is not J.J. Abrams. There are a lot of things that were missed in this movie. I think you're right with this. The storyline didn't make sense. It made sense in the sense that, like, okay, you got a bad guy, a new bad guy. Blah,
It was
blah,
just
blah.
simple, yeah.
Yeah, it was a filler, but there were still plot holes. So let's just say J.J. Abrams had this story. Like, this is the one they made him do. He would have explained why the character changed. He would have explained why. There's a lot of unexplained things that would not have slipped through J.J. Abrams.
Well, I
yeah,
think,
actually, good point. Good
No,
point.
because then there was one conflict where they talked about the captain's conflict, where even in the beginning, where Kirk was just talking about how after a while the same thing, the routine over and over again feels the days feel episodic, where you don't know when one day starts and one day ends, and as a captain
point.
you can kind of get a little cabin fever. Uh, I guess they didn't say cabin fever, but that's essentially what they described. And remember when he applied for the ambassador ship too, is that she was just like, oh, we know it's okay that as a captain it can be lame up there, it can be a bit maddening doing the same over and over again, and that was the symptom that drove the baddie Idris Elba to go insane against the Federation too, where they were just like, okay, we're going to shut down the military and you're going to do this thing for us, where it's the same thing day in day out, and essentially he blames them for driving him mad.
And that's true. Like,
Yeah,
they tell
point.
you exactly what's going to happen in this movie. They give you the symptom of the bad guy right at the beginning of the movie by giving it to the good guy.
Mm-hmm.
Then then something bad happens with with these aliens, and they destroy the Enterprise. Which, if you think about it, they destroy the Enterprise in all three of these new movies, and they've done it one other time in the entire history of Star Trek. But
Yeah.
so they destroy the Enterprise again,
He's right.
and then and then they find the USS Franklin with the new member of the cast. Was it Jayla?
Yeah.
They this is her home now because her ship also crash landed there and it killed her family and all this stuff. And then, like, they give you this story, like this little video that once that ship is now up. And my dad didn't catch it. I caught it, because we were talking about it after the movie, because he knew I was watching it to do this, and he had asked me what I had sort of caught, and I caught right then. I said, "That's the crew." I didn't know that they were going to be drones. I thought that those were the bad guys. Like, this crew is the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
And then the one thing that they missed, that was the biggest plot hole for me. Excuse me, was if they were the crew, if this was the captain, but yet this Jayla put cloaking device on the ship, they would have known it was there anyway.
Oh. Yeah, that's a good point.
Whether they crash land, I don't remember. Did they crash land or did they land there as part of a mission or something? Either way, dude would have knew it was there, because they even tell you, like, as they're flying the USS Franklin into the drone ships with the UHF frequencies, because they know what they're going to do. They know how they're going to destroy them now. He even turns back and says, my old friend.
Yeah.
No, yeah,
So
yeah,
he-
because
he
I
would-
was actually, yeah.
He would have
I'm
known that
sorry,
ship was
yeah.
there. He would have known that ship was
Absolutely.
there.
That's a good catch,
Yeah,
man.
because
That's a
I was
really good catch.
Because I was going to bring that up too, but even more to the fact, I'm going to add on to what you were saying. What didn't make any sense to me, a plot hole, is that if he's a captain and he has a couple more guys still in his crew, why couldn't they do what the Enterprise crew did to boot it up again and get the hell out of Dodge? I mean, are they?
Yeah, that might be
I mean,
the crazy part, because I think at that part I see what you're saying too. You're very right. You're very right on that part too. But I think at that part, whatever had happened and the circumstances where they landed up on that planet, whether it was crashing or they were just kind of going there, I think they crashed, because the way that the Franklin seemed very kind of crash-ish, right? But the last captain's log entry he was pretty much declaring war or mutiny against the Federation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
think, yeah. So
And the story they tell with him was that he was a soldier. He fought in a couple wars. He was not a captain in the sense that that we know, but he was a soldier. Much like, if I don't know, Eric or Jordan, if you guys ever saw Firefly, the short-lived TV series, which was one of the greatest of all time.
yep.
Where like Malcolm Reynolds, he was a soldier who then became a pirate. The converse is true with this guy. He was a soldier who then became a captain. They gave him a ship, and he regretted it because he was a soldier. He was not somebody that could lead people.
Right. And yeah,
Well, I know. I just
it was the
I
shutting
just
down of
call
the military
bullshit
too.
on it.
No,
I
those
just
are
I just call bullshit on it,
those are
because
good
like wouldn't
catches.
they, because think about it. If us three were on a ship and we crash land on a planet, we could have figured out how to get back. I mean, like, the Enterprise crew didn't do nothing too outrageous and too outstanding to where this original crew couldn't figure it out.
That's not
like,
necessarily the case, because if you think about it, think about an engineer from 100 years ago versus an engineer from today.
Hmm.
An engineer from today has all the knowledge that has been built up in the last 100 years.
all right, good
They
point.
were the
Good
first
point.
that they were the first ship. The USS Franklin was one of the initial ships in the fleet of Starfleet. That a person from 100 years ago couldn't fix a car that's been manufactured today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Whereas a guy that could fix a car today can fix any car made in the last 100 years.
Good point.
Because of that
Good
build
point.
up information.
Let's
Good
move on
point.
to more the visual aspect of this movie, because it does seem to be kind of its own character in the movie. So going into Yorktown, that
Yes.
that
Yes.
kind of interplanetary city that was there too, which looked amazing. I thought it was a very cool design. The way that they did that, very very Ring World, very Rama. The way they just kind of have everything kind of
It reminded
in
me of
circles like that.
Elysium.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty much how it is. I mean, because that's a Arthur C. Clarke kind of invention type thing where the solution for gravity, and you see it in Interstellar too, is
Hmm.
so instead of making things kind of standing on the outside of it and having internal gravity source, you build
Yeah.
things the opposite and just have it spinning, kind of like how those carnival rides work, where you stick to the walls of those things
Yeah.
that spin around really fast. I forget what those things are called.
The
Whatever.
tilt-a-whirls or the
Gravity is what
scramblers.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Some
Yeah.
crap like that too. So pretty much you through that motion, through that type of energy, you create the gravity that way. So that's pretty much how they're doing it. It's fabulous how they do that. The envisioning of it, the way that you see the Enterprise just kind of go through the tunnels, channeling underneath the water. That was really cool, man. I like the way that
Oh
was.
yeah.
So that was
Yes.
really cool the way they did that. A lot of the visuals were really cool. A lot of the even the booby traps that Jill had set up around the area, that little smoke wall thing. That was pretty cool.
Y-
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
The
Yeah,
visuals in this movie are really good.
I completely agree. Like, I think, there's nothing innovative, but it looked really good.
And that's
Yeah.
really what
No,
you
it was.
need
It
in
was,
this
it was
movie,
solid.
right?
Yeah.
What's that?
That's really what you kind of need in this movie, right? I mean, that's Star Trek
Oh,
movie.
absolutely. Yeah, like if you remember from even like going way back in the old days, you could tell this. You could tell the what was a set, where everything was live, and then you could see the background, which was a different color, and I mean,
Yeah. The
this is
painted
completely
canvas.
different. Yeah, yeah. So it was. I mean, I agree. It was really cool, and at the end they use the idea of, like, they even tell you, hey, listen, gravity's gonna be way different when you're up there because you're at the center of the creation of gravity, and the bad guy uses the slipstream of gravity, which I don't know if scientifically that's possible. I don't know. That none of us are smart enough to know that, but he uses that to sort of fly around and go back to what he wanted to do. Like, I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, I don't know if I can answer that question. It seems like, because when you fall, everything falls at like the same speed. So it feels like if you were to jump, you'd be, especially if you're going off of one gravity to the other, it feels like you would pick up speed. So it seems like you would hit a lot of those skyscrapers pretty hard. But whatever, it's a Star Trek movie.
Yeah.
But I thought that was a pretty cool kind of added feature they had there, where you just say, okay, let me just dip from one skyscraper to the other one. Let me go from this plane to the next one, kind of like a some sort of Escher painting there.
No, yeah. I mean, like the visuals I thought were better in this than what it was in Into Darkness. I really thought this was actually better than the '09 one too. I thought this was the best visually stunning film. But for me, the issues was the characters and for the plot because was it just me or did Kirk A look really old and B he did not look like he wanted to be there at all. The actor, not
Chris
the
Pine?
Well,
That's
but
just how he
no, but
looks.
you got to realize that they're painting you that story at the very beginning. They're telling you that Chris Pine or Captain Kirk is tired of being a fucking ship captain, and he's in real life he's 35. I don't know where he is age wise in the series, but
He looks old. He has a lot of gray hair and wrinkles.
Let's
Now-
assume the same.
Now, was that makeup, or is that not?
I
No, it might
think
be
that
just wear
they
and tear.
design. I think they tell that story on purpose. That's the story they want to tell you. Is like is Kirk is tired. He doesn't want to be there anymore. He tries to be a vice admiral for that spaceship. He's done being the captain of the Enterprise. So he's just sick and tired. He's done. He wants a new gig. He's done. Like he's just war. And then he sort of gets reinvigorated. And my dad even pointed to me out to me the line at the end of the movie when they're saying when the admiral of that space station says, "Hey, listen, if you want the job, it's yours. Nobody deserves it more." And he says, "Well, that'd be no. I'm assuming I can't fly anymore. That wouldn't be any fun. Or there's no. Where's the fun in that?" Was the line.
Right.
And that's a Kirk line that's been throughout the entire series. Is where's the fun in that?
So,
Okay,
So
yeah, good point.
yeah. So there's that.
until he gets bored
You know,
for the
when I
next
wa-
one.
Until he gets bored. Nice.
Mhm.
Eric, you said you saw this Friday, and the first thing you said to us in the messenger was the sabotage scene was awesome. And I'm watching this whole movie, and I'm like, sabotage. I'm assuming he's referring to the song Sabotage, like they did in the first movie. I'm like, did I miss something? What's going on? Because I went to the bathroom twice, so I figured I missed it. But no, you're right, Eric. That ending Sabotage Beastie Boys song was amazing. Like
Oh.
this, like
That was really cool.
wow, the visual effects of these ships that are like pretty much a giant wave kind of reminded me of the Matrix. At the ending with all of them coming out.
Right, they just that
and it was
swarm, just kind of like just that little,
Yeah.
little thing. There's just a swarm that just.
yeah. It's like if you're there, you have probably shit your pants. I mean, I would have. I'm not gonna deny that. I mean, fuck me. Like, no, visual effects were great with that, Eric. You were right. They were spot on. With
And then
that.
even
Oh
the
my
part
God.
when Yorktown caught the frequency, and then they repeated the frequency through their shield too, and it
Yes,
just blew everything up.
That
Fucking
was
amazing.
that was the best part of this whole movie.
Yeah.
that was the best part. That was the best part.
That was the best part of that whole movie is when they come up and then she plays Sabotage. I've got the noise. I've got the screaming and the pounding, and
Yes.
and it plays it, and then Captain Kirk he gets a little smirk on his face because as we all know, that was the first time we see Captain Kirk in the first movie. Is he steals his stepdad's car and is blasting this song driving down the road. So he gets a little smirk on his face and says, "I like it."
Yeah.
It was great.
Really cool. It almost kind of like it was just kind of surfing the wave almost, So
Yes.
Mhm.
No. Great. And it's funny is that you didn't think that. I mean, honestly, if you kind of take yourself out of it and you really think about it, it's like, wow, that piece of music doesn't make any sense in Star Trek.
it's classical.
But
Yeah.
yeah, classical. That's
Yes, I
actually,
believe it is.
but it works. And actually, the one thing that I will say I really liked about this movie was the comedic timing was hilarious, especially with Bones and Spock, where he's like, "So you gave your girlfriend a tracking
Yeah, that
device?"
was a good one. With
Like-
the horseshit scene.
Yeah.
Everybody in the theater was laughing about the tracking device, and I'm saying to myself, "Well, my wife has a tracking device because we have iPhones. Find Friends app. Oops, whoops."
No, it was
Sorry.
good, and it's great because Bones is kind of finding that role where he's just a doctor. He's a doctor first,
Yeah.
He's
Yeah.
that's his only place on the Enterprise, is that he's there to just kind of tell people, no, it's my medical advice to say you shouldn't do that. And then it's great because you see him more and more where Kirk is just like, hey, well, I need you to do this too. He's like, well, damn it, Jim. I'm not that. I'm a doctor. I'm a doctor,
Mm-hmm.
not a spaceman.
Did he say the "damn it" line at all? Because I haven't heard him say that at all in this trilogy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he said damn it, Jim. He says damn it, Jim all the time.
Yeah.
Okay.
They cut him off because he was about to say it, and then that's when they beamed him and Spock into one of the Hive ships. Damn it,
Mhm.
Jim! I'm a doctor, not
Ah.
a.
And he was getting ready to say the F word, like he said foot, and
Yeah.
then all of a sudden he's beamed up.
So it
I
was.
mean,
It was pretty
yeah.
cool. But
I
okay.
mean, everybody was good. Yeah. Go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, just all in all, it's just one of those movies because you saw it in IMAX, I saw it in 3D. 3D was complete, not necessary for this movie whatsoever, by the way, too. There
Oh, it
was
wasn't
just
good at all.
well, there was a few movies like are built for 3D. Like when you make a movie with 3D in mind, then you get the most out of it. But when you have a movie like this one, or like Star Wars, or a lot of the kids movies now, and that aren't made for 3D in mind, they just are able to cut over like a 3D film on top of it, and just sell it for $4 extra a ticket, and
Yeah.
just kind of get that going. There's no part in the movie where you're just like, oh, I really stood out. Oh, it's like a Disney
Really?
World 3D theater. It adds depth. That's all it does. It just adds a dimension. So that part,
Oh.
maybe when like the swarm is coming over the Franklin ship, the Franklin kind of stands out a little bit more, and that swarm really just kind of is a little bit more detail. But there's no one or two scenes, even just that really like are made for the 3D part. Some movies really do stand
Okay.
out. Like How to Train Your Dragon in 3D was really good because of the flying scenes through the cloud, or Hugo. Obviously, that was completely made for 3D. Uh,
Okay.
as Scorsese actually said that he relearned film and how to make it for 3D, and all those parts, the introductory train scene, everything was built for 3D, and it's immaculate. It's wonderful. It's not the greatest film, but you know, it won a whole bunch
and
of awards.
I saw this in 2D because I don't like watching movies in 3D for the simple sense that like I wear glasses
Yeah.
to see, like I can't see without them. So I just feel like there's a double sense of vision. Like obviously the fans can't see us, and all three of us wear glasses. I don't know if that's a problem. If that's a problem for you guys as well. But I don't like watching a movie in 3D because it sort of makes me a little motion sick because I'm focusing from my normal glasses, which help me to actually see, through another set of glasses that are refocusing your eyes for 3D.
I mean,
Sure.
yeah. I just get
I
the,
never.
the bigger 3D glasses and I just go over mine.
Yeah. I've never had that issue. The only time I have that issue when it's terribly done, like years ago, my wife and I saw Alice in Wonderland, the Tim Burton remake, with that in 3D, and yeah, that made us nauseous. But other than that, no, haven't had an issue. Well, okay, here we'll get into this then. We'll get into the recommends or not recommends. Well, Ed, let's go with you first today. Ed, do you recommend Star Trek Beyond?
If you're a fan of the series, you got to see it. You've already seen it by the time this review is going to come out. If you're a movie fan, it's a generic movie. There's nothing innovative about it. There's nothing magical about the story. There's nothing that was, unlike our last review where I was on the edge of my seat for Ghostbusters, and I was bored with this movie, except for the sabotage scene when they're fighting the aliens outside of what the hell's the name of that space station? I can't fucking
Yorktown?
remember. Yeah, and
Yorktown.
I saw this movie literally 4 hours ago, and I can't remember anything about it. That's how fucking memorable it is. So, yeah, it's another one of those movies that if it's on HBO Go or Netflix or whatever, you can watch it. If you're a film fan like us, go see it in theaters. I mean, I'd recommend it because it's not an awful movie, but I'm going to tell people to go see it, but I'm going to tell them to wait till it comes out on Netflix.
Nice. Okay.
I agree with you completely. Like it's one of those where again I enjoyed it. It was fine. If there's nothing else in the theater, you want to go see it. Yeah, sure. If you're a fan of it, yeah, then you probably have already seen it. I agree with you completely. But yeah, this is one of those movies where you're kind of at home on a Saturday and it just happens to be kind of playing on HBO like a year from now. And you're like, yeah, well, I'm too lazy to change it. I guess
Yeah.
I'll just keep on watching it. It's like one of those come across movies. You're not missing a whole lot from it. It's a standalone movie, completely from the Star Trek and this newer generation. If they were to continue kind of with the conflict of Romulans or do something else, it's a standalone. But then again, a lot of the Star Trek movies are standalone. They don't follow in a sequence. You can watch them kind of out of order, and they would just be kind of their own standalone adventure. So, you
Kind of like
know,
Bond in a way.
yeah, exactly how that is. So it's again very episodic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would
Um.
say wait. You could wait for this one. If there's probably some other movies you could probably be better spent if wasting money on in the theater. This one was again, I enjoyed it, but you're probably better off just kind of waiting for this.
And also for me, I'm very black or white. So for me, it's going to be a not recommend. But I want to make this clear though. I'm giving a not recommend because best way to say this, I don't think this movie's terrible. I don't think it's bad. It's a very adequate, very visually stunning film. But other than that, it doesn't give me any entertainment value, doesn't give me any pleasure. Like I'm not coming out of the theater going, "Oh my god, I can't wait to review it with Eric and Ed. This is going to be so much fun." I just went, "Oh, I got a review tonight." Okay, you know what I mean? Like it's not giving me that hype that I'm looking for.
The best way I can say to
So
describe it is that it's an enjoyable movie, but in a week I'm gonna forget about
I saw it
yeah,
4 hours ago, and I can't remember anything that happened other than what the major things.
yeah, no, yeah, it was very very weak but like you guys said, it was very episodic. So since the main characters signed up for part 4, maybe we'll get what we want. But I am going to be excited for our next review because our next review is a movie I've been waiting a year for, Suicide Squad. I'm
Oh,
excited as hell for this,
it. Yeah.
and I'm going to see it, and I'm going to see it twice. I already got my pre-orders twice, so I'm going to see it twice for this review.
That'll
I
be a good
have
one.
to.
That'll be a good
I
one.
have
At
to.
least I hope it will be. I mean, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah,
It's
we
kind of
have
this
to. Yeah.
weird thing because like with Ghostbusters, everyone was building up how trash it was and ended up being like, oh, it's actually a pretty good movie. For enjoyable. But same with Suicide Squad, it might be the complete opposite. Kind of this hype
It could
train
be.
is just built up so much. But the same was for Batman and Superman. It was built up just like, oh, this is gonna be just watch out. This is gonna be the movie right here, you know.
Yeah.
And then you go see it, and most people are just like, well, what the fuck was that?
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like that's what I'm worried about. That's why I'm seeing this twice. I'm going to see it opening night through my fan eyes, through just oh my god, fanboy. I cannot wait to see this. And then the next night on Saturday, I'm going to watch it from a critic's eyes and just okay, I already saw it. I know what's going to happen. Now I'm going to pick this thing apart and see if I actually think it's as good as the fanboy thinks. So that's what I'm kind of going for.
We'll see.
But I'm
I
really excited for it.
I think all the secondary characters are gonna stand out more.
Yeah,
Like the
well,
the Joker and the Batman appearance. I think that's gonna be more memorable.
yeah,
But
because Joker hopefully is in it. But anyway, we'll talk when we talk about it. And
yeah,
then also, we're going to be after Suicide Squad. We're going to review a movie I put on the schedule. You guys didn't deny it yet, but I have down there Sausage Party. So we'll
oh, I'm
see
totally down
about.
for
oh yeah, no,
Sausage Party.
we're watching
Oh,
that.
Okay, all right, because I have Sausage Party down. So
that's gonna be
oh
that's
god, it'll
that's
be
probably
funny
gonna be
as
the
shit.
funniest movie of all time.
What happened?
I hope so. I hope that'll be I hope that'll be a good standout movie for the summer here.
Oh yeah, it'll be great. So, well, everybody, thank you so much for downloading this episode. Make sure to check us out on our website, movieguyspodcast.com. Check us out on Twitter, and also, of course, check us out on iTunes. You can download this episode. Just type in the search bar on iTunes, Movie Guys Podcast, and you'll be able to find us. Some people have messaged us and says that our logo looks like a pizza pie on flames, so we'll go with that. For no, so.
Flaming pie, yeah.
Yeah, flaming pie, man. That's what they called me in college. Anywho, what? So thank you so much for listening to this episode, guys. And for Eric and Ed, we'll be back soon to talk about Suicide Squad, guys. Have a good night. See ya.
Good night.
Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission: to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.